Strong friends, how are you? It is Jamie from 315 Strong, and welcome to our first official web series. How about that? So you want to be an amateur strongman promoter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through this, and this may not be everybody that does amateur strongman competitions, probably isn't even close, but this is how we have come to do our competitions here. Orange Elite, which you see the picture above, that's actually the first group shot from the first contest we ever did back in 2015. We also do CNY Strongest Man and Woman, which usually happens April or May-ish. And then we also do a team competition. Has been co-ed in the past. This year it's an actual full team competition. So just some of the things that we do. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been a crazy ride in all of these contests. So I just wanted to do a little video about it in a couple different part series to bring things to you. So the first thing, I think, as we get into this, when we first started 315 Strong, it just kind of happened organically. It was nothing that we were like, oh, this has got to happen, we got to do this. We were training. Tracy, of course, Stankovic was our basically our mentor, brought us, a lot of us, into Strongman, Strongwoman, gave us a place to train, gave us the first equipment we had to train on, and me and her, with my radio background and her strongman background, said, you know what, we should really put on a contest here in Syracuse, and we did. So Orange Elite was the first contest. We threw around a lot of different names, and that's what we came up with, so things worked pretty well from there. So let me tell you, it's been fun. It's been crazy. I don't know how the hell we pulled it off, but we did. And just kind of some of the things that we do now and how we kind of put our contest together. A lot of the front leg work is me now, and a lot of the back leg work is my wife. But yeah, just some of the steps. We're going to go through the quick ones, and then we'll break them down per video as we go. But the first one is, obviously, you have to, I feel like you have to pick events, because at the end of the day, you got to know what you have. You got to know what kind of pieces of stuff that you can use. Obviously, yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't have something, you obviously can't do a contest with that piece of equipment. So the first contest we did, we basically used a whole bunch of people's equipment. It wasn't just ours. And we were lucky enough to have a bunch of friends that wanted to make this succeed. And so we did. And as we did each contest, we basically just went right along and bought more equipment. And I would think now we've come up with a pretty damn good amount of equipment. But yeah, so pick events. So we've had, we have a log, we have obviously axle overhead, you have different moving events. A couple of the things that I don't have that I really want to have now, Fingal Fingers is one that I have never had in a contest. An actual car squat or something of that nature. We used to have a car dead. I don't really know where it is now. It kind of disappeared through the commotion of the last couple of years. So to get a new car deadlift, that would be obviously a thing, but to be able to have like a bucket where they drop kegs in, or we can, you know, load it with kegs and deadlift on it, maybe a car squat, something like that. There's a lot of different stuff I think that you can do with that kind of setup. But yeah, Fingal Fingers is definitely one that I would no doubt want to have at some point soon. So that's number one, I feel. Pick events, and obviously the weights that go with those events, and that's kind of how we put things together to start with. The second part is find a venue. Now your venue is going to base everything on your date, because your venue is going to tell you, well, this date's open, this date, depending on where you go. We've had the opportunity to actually do a lot of great events and have a lot of great venues to work with. Edge Strength and Conditioning being one. Ryan over there has allowed us, basically, in the first contest, it was a wide open warehouse. It was where his building was moving to, and the guy hadn't started building it out yet. And he's like, dude, let's use it. So they let us use it. And it was just wide open, plenty of space, crazy amount. I think space-wise, that was probably the best one. When we moved over to Hercules Gym, I love the gym. The space in there it's a little tight for what we do, but we make it all work. I think the first contest, Orange Elite, we had 70 competitors. It worked perfect. The second contest was the Revolution Challenge. that we put on, and we had, I want to say, almost over 300 people in that building that day. So remember, your venue and your date are kind of going to go hand in hand. We've done also events at Blood Iron Barbell, where we operate out of now. Rita's great and basically allows us to use the venue as we need to. And then we've also done events at 41 Sports Center, which is just a wide open soccer center. Plenty of room there. A little bit different because we're working on turf, but it all kind of works. So that's number 2. Number 3 is finding a sanctioning body. Now, there's 2 different sanctioning bodies here in the States. The first one, it was only one when we first started, was Strongman Corporation, or at that time was North American Strongman. Now you have Strongman Corporation, and you also have United States Strongman. We sanction through United States Strongman. Both have their pluses and minuses. We'll talk about those. There's not really a whole lot of minuses, to be totally honest with you. I mean, the best part is, obviously, I like to sanction. I've done one contest unsanctioned. I'll never do that again, because they cover your insurance and all that kind of stuff through the sanctioning. So that's something that maybe you want to make sure that you have covered. You don't have to sanction though. It's totally up to you. But I like to sanction and give people a shot at whether it's a nationals or whatever they have going on. Number 4, it should say website probably there. Your sign up, right? So the first event, we didn't have a website. 315 Strong really didn't exist. Only a little bit, not as much as it does now, where we have a website and all the bank accounts and all that kind of stuff, and it's actually a legit business. But it was not that when we first started. But yeah, so you have your sign up, whether it's online, paper. Most of the USS and Strongman Corp both have those sign-ups posted on their web pages, so they can automatically click on there, download, fill it out, send it in. Or you can have the online sign-up, which works amazingly wonders. Plus, with that online sign-up, you automatically get email. So if you have their email, now you're building a database of people that have competed in your contest. So you want that, so you can send out an email blast to, hey, we're having a contest, hello, if you want to sign up. So there's that. There's artwork for the contest, which I have learned all of that from the get-go, from the bottom to the top, man. I've learned all of it, and we'll get into more of that. Apparel, if you're going to have, obviously, most of the time you want to have a contest t-shirt, so you're going to want to know who you can go through with that. I used to get them done. Now I do them myself. We'll talk more about that. Sponsors and all that, and then, you know, anything else. There's a lot of miscellaneous things in that category. So we will talk about that as we get to it. So that is number 4. Number 5 that we're going to talk about is plan the setup for the day. Depending on which venue you're in, right, you want to plan the setup, whether it's a changeover, whether you're doing events, all the same events, and then have to change out each event, whether you're doing, I've done ones where we've had them all set up at the same time and they just jump to each event, or maybe you have 2 at a time, then you flip over to the other 2 and then finish with your last event, whatever it might be. So there's that. There's volunteers. You're going to have enough volunteers. Obviously, friends play a huge key in helping you out with these. At least mine do. Also, some of your team or your competitors that come in that might help. If you have a DJ, that also works out. That's part of like the planning the setup, because you want to know where he goes. I'm lucky enough to have a great DJ that's done every single one of my contests. So yeah, so you want to have something like that. And the last part that we will get into, all right, is comp day. Are you ready to go on comp day? Now, for me, the last, number 5 and 6, a lot of that planning goes on me and my wife Bridget. We do it both together. She does a lot of the day of, the table work, anything that's signing in. She handles all of that. I stay away from her on that because she knows I freak out with all that stuff, and she has a system, and we've worked it out over the last like 5 or 6 years. So those are just some of the things, man. So you want to be an amateur strongman promoter. This is a little series on how we do it. I'm not saying anybody else does it this way, but we do. So coming up in the next episode, we will get into number 1, picking events. We're going to go through all of the, well, not all of the possible events because there's a bunch, but we will talk about picking an event and then finding a venue. We'll go through those 2 things in the next episode. We'll see you then. Enjoy.